Greetings, mortals. I am Nathas, wanderers of the underworld, or specifically the ruler of manga hell. And today we'll be reacting to the newest chapter of Black Clover, chapter 333, titled The World Savior and Its Flaw. Alright, I'm guessing that this is gonna be a very undernosed Lucius and Asta chapter. But just because it's like that, and honestly, also I knew the last chapter pretty much statement on this, it could be a very interesting chapter. So, anyways, let's get into this chapter. And by looks of things, we're actually starting this chapter off in a pretty good way, because we actually start the chapter off with the Lucius having like a bit of a sort of a flashback with his siblings. As we see Lucius saying the greatest devil host potential in the history of our family, as an exceptional being born with two souls in one body. So yeah, we get also explanation of what Lucius and Julius are. Also, while he's saying that, we see the other three Dark Triad a bit, uh, a bit running in the snow from their house. Like, I mean, granted, it's more like Vonica is playing airplane while Dante is talking to them. I'm guessing while Zion's just walking his own. I mean, yeah, he's not that far off from away from Vonica, but it's kind of weird how they're doing that. Also, by the looks of things, it seems like the Dark Triad were living alone in the forest away from the main capital. Which again makes me wondering who are the Zorgrata's siblings, because it does seem like they were kind of kept away from everything. Even it's even more apparent in the flashback when in this anime's flashback of the Spade takeover, where we have like all of the three siblings of the Zorgratas all apparently being on missions together. So anyways, there we have Lucia saying, "Who were we? What were we meant to accomplish?" Then we got Lucius, who is on a wheelchair. It's not explained in this chapter, because I'm wondering. As he's in the Zagrata's version of Nox's room, where we have like he has a bunch of like pillars. I guess it's how he got the information about the devil summonings. And also, those pillars seem to be a bit cracked in the top, so some of this information is missing. As Lucius is saying, we bound a supreme devil, Astaroth, of time magic to ourselves in an attempt to learn this and the answer. So, yeah, as then we get a bit of more like a phase the into mind type of situations. We see like a bit of fog, as in Lucius in his when he's in cloak in darkness, we see his hands as he's saying, "I've seen it, Julius. The future, true peace for the world." Then we see white where we have Julius's hands there, as Julius like Lucius. That isn't. And then we have back to Lucius, who is saying, "Yes, I foresaw that you would try to stop me as well. It's a shame. No one's ever been closer to me than you, and yet you don't understand." What? As they have Lucius in this monologue being like, just saying this, like, "What do you plan to do, Lucius?" As they have a parallel shot of Lucius, who's there like holding the finger, and he's also done like in a very interesting sort of way, where we have like this is how his hand is. Well, actually, I think it's the other hand. Like this is actually how it's presented. As then he's like is saying, well, it's kind of like a shadowy figure, like you can kind of see through it, as he's saying, "It's all right, Julius. I've seen it all." Which I guess similar to how he killed Damnatio, whatever he did to Damnatio, as then says, "We'll be able to bring peace to the world." So yeah, the reason why, so in case say I was wondering about it, it seems that Lucius and Julius were one soul, two souls in one body, and Lucius, because he saw that Julius was not gonna join him or work for him or whatever, decided to use him as a puppet to go to the Clover Kingdom and do stuff for him. Now, this does not raise now the question about what does Julius think about his about the Dark Triad and what was their relationship to him, Like, would they be able to recognize? Like, there's just raised a lot of questions, honestly, about this and what does this mean. But it's too vague to say for now. Maybe we're gonna get something in the future with someone talking or something, or maybe we're gonna get like the super long flashback because at this point, I feel like we do require all of the siblings to get a flashback, not like Dante and Xenon, who got like one chapter and that was mostly kept to themselves. No, this like recalls entire flashback, multi-chapter long, with all of the Zogata siblings. So, anyways, now we cut to the present. We see Asta looking at Lucius, as then Noel looks back with Moses, where she's like, "Huh? The Wizard King?" As she's like dumbfounded by that because Julius Lucius look almost exactly the same. It's just they have a bit of a different hair color, and I'm also guessing eye color. Maybe I'm not like sure on the eye color. It could just be the Lucius's eye color is the same as Julius. I mean, I think, yeah, I think it's the same shading on both of the two. So you have to quant into that part. Anyways, then we have Asta looking as well. She's like Wizard King, as we also see Libra on his shoulder, which I don't think he was last chapter, but maybe I was mistaken. As they have Asta being a big words like, "No, you're not him. You're who are you?" As then we have Lucius having the smile that Julius has. As then we see like Julius's grimoire kind of Lucius grimoire moving the same way how Julius is moved as then Asta realizes something, as then we see that the entire tower that they were all standing in, or the entire building, is now engulfed in a giant, like, time magic spell that Lucius was using previously. So, yeah. Yeah, Julius has time magic, as most people suspected, and was pretty much confirmed, let's be real here. And, yeah, it's just engulfed everything. Now we also get like a little demonstration of what this looks like with the fact like we see some birds just kind of staying still up in the air, which I feel like is how most time magic is used. Noel and most just looking at there as well as Sister Liz just being kind of shocked by this. Is then we have Lucy as just kind of approaching Asta as he wants to do the tap, the same thing he did to Damnatio, and I'm also guessing to Julius or however that happened. But then immediately Asta goes into his like that devil mode where he's just his wings are out and horns and a bit of marks, which honestly actually looks pretty cool here with the armband. Like I would definitely say this is a good, cool appearance for Asta. In all honesty, I mean to be fair, Black Clover does usually have very good designs. It's not that's not the issue. It's kind of like Bleach. Like designs are usually top notch. It's everything else that's more in the point of the story. So, anyways, then we have Julius using some kind of time magic or jerk where he's able to merely avoid Asta, as he says. So this is time and time magic. The power that flies in the face of natural law, as he's looking at Asta. As then we have Asta look at Sister like, time stop for everybody but us? That's the Wizard King's magic. Remembering the time where the armaments and when he saw Julius capturing them. As then we have Asta like, but this spell is huge! Which is affecting the whole building, which is true. Julius usually used his time magic in like a size of a person rather than like a building size. I mean, again, I do think he was using like a giant one that was covering the whole country against Patri's light magic, but that was more like a kind of a final exception with his mana and all that. But this is honestly just an easy way to demonstrate the power gap between Lucius and Julius. As I have Lucius saying, because I've absorbed Lucifer, yes. So yeah, one of the reasons why this is so big is because Lucifer is magic. As then we have, last time remember, Lucifer's like, this key, it's his! What is this? So yeah, I guess he's wondering why he's like sensing two keys. Not sure what exactly that is the reason why or not. As there we have Asta saying, "You're Julius, but you're not. You're human, but you're not. Who are you?" So I guess Lucius is giving out pressure like Julius, but not exact perfectly. Okay, but more than usual you should. And he's giving off the aura of a human, but it's so powerful that it's more like a devil's one. And then we have us saying, "What have you done to the Wizard King?" And then we have Lucius starting to saying, I'm Lucius Agratus, savior of the world. Julius is dead. It's just that he didn't say Julius he has regretted or Julius no corona, but I'm guessing he just doesn't even view Julius as his brother anymore or whatever they are supposed to be. And then Asta's like shocked by this thing. It's like the Wizard King's dead because Asta can read key. I'm guessing that all these changes with Lucifer's and all that still doesn't change the telling the truth or lying thing. So yeah, I guess now Asta just says Lucy Julius is dead. And now we have Lucius saying, he had completed his mission in the service of our goal. For the sake of the true peace, a peace without sadness or hatred, war or discrimination. So yeah, I guess now Julia has basically finished his mission, so like how most people pretty much use characters in Black Clover, honestly. So, anyways, then we have us to be like true peace, and then we get like a monologue from Lucia, as where he's actually trying to use Lucifer's gravity magic because the whole because the balcony is like being shattered and very similar like how gravity is being used. As Lucia's saying, we will repair all humans. My siblings and I will destroy them, then use our magic to recreate them. We will make them into fortunate people who are equal in every respect. So yeah. As then Lucifer says, then to prevent any further mistakes, I will rule over everything as the final Wizard King. So yeah. Now this is something I am curious about. Because alright, correct me if I'm wrong, but in what state are all three of the Zugata siblings in right now? Because alright, while you can say, oh, they're all dead, fine, but I'm guessing this means they will all have to, at least in some way, be brought back. But the thing is, Monica and Dante's bodies are there, but Xenon's body has disintegrated. If you say soul magic, which is something a lot of people think Lucius's magic is, souls, you have to then consider the fact that, well, Dante's soul should be normal. It's up in the air what happened to Vonica's soul, what the hell is even her status. Like, I would say she's like the most vague one. But we know at the very least, Xenon's soul should be with Beelzebub, and Xenon's body should be destroyed, while Dante's soul should normally return to everywhere, with him being maybe alive, maybe dead. Depends on how you see it. But still, it's kind of weird. Like, and by some of this, like, it sounds like they will still play a role and be, revived in just a matter of time, because he says, my siblings and I will destroy the world. So I'm guessing this means they will come back. I'm curious on how they're gonna be brought back, if they're gonna be more powerful, they're gonna be full demons, or what's gonna happen on that side. But we have to see on that part. Again, I'm curious on what exactly is gonna happen to them. So yeah. Yeah. Anyways, then we have us to be like, what are you talking about? As Lucy just says, it's fine. Everything is as I foresaw it. Except one thing. Oh great, now we're gonna have that like stupid one thing that the person that has future sight cannot see. Yeah, I mean, why are writers even fucking writing these people who can see the future? I mean, don't they just write themselves in the corners because they always have to find something that can be accepted to it? Like you always have to find a way to bypass it because otherwise you have these characters are like just OP for the sake of or unbeatable once you really think about it. I mean, let's be real here. People have been pretty much complaining about the way Yuha's future side was handled, so I'm not sure why Lucius would be any different. So yeah, anyways, there we have Lucius just looking at Asta, sticking his finger out, saying "you." So the one exception in Asta, like you could expect, like that's kind of the whole thing shtick at this point with Black Clover. Like he's the one exception to everything. Anyways, there we have Lucius saying, by rights, no living thing should be born without magic. You are the world's flaw." Or should it be the world's flaws because, Levi is a similar case? As then Lucy's like, for the sake of a just future, flaws must be eliminated. As there we have Lucy just listening to this and saying, oh yeah, sure, I see. Who the heck are you calling a flaw, you jerk? In other words, you're a bad guy who's hijacked the Wizard King's body! Which is true, like, once you really think about it. But I mean, this kind of feels like it's meant more to be like a joke, but still, like, I have to 100% agree with Asta. Like, this is basically everything a villain says to him. The only difference between Lucius and any other villain right now in terms of talking is essentially that just that he takes us seriously from the very get-go instead of when they are seriously damaged. Anyways, then we have Asta screaming as he's kind of calling out. Lucius is like, destroy all humans? Don't be ridiculous. The Wizard King put his life on the line to save everybody. That's the Wizard King I looked up to. Everyone did. So as it also says, and also there's no way he'll die that easily. So I'm gonna stop you and save him. So yeah, again, similar case here. As then Lucius is just kind of smiling as the rock's going over it up. As then he has like a bit more of a like a shitty grin. Like it's not that over the top comedy. It's not the over top, but like he honestly gives me the impression that he has. You know how Voink is like super emotionally over the top with her expressions. Like imagine that, but instead of Voinka's expressions, imagine Xenon's All Highness. Like that's kind of the impression I'm getting right now. Hell, purple eyes. Those two have red and blue, and those two were even and those two were even in the beginning of the chapter closer together. Huh. Makes you wonder a few things. Anyways, I have Lucia saying, "I am stronger than Julius, you know." So yeah, I guess he's trying to. I'm not sure what he's back to say. Like, even if you don't have future sight, you know what Asta's reaction is gonna be. He's just gonna be like, in that case, as he's just supposed to have one sword. I think it's Demon Dweller, as he uses anti magic, which destroys that whole like time bubble, whatever it is called, and just release all the birds. Uh, Sister Lily is back to normal. Everyone, and then as all the All-Star fangirls are all back to normal, they're like, huh? What? Because, from their perspective, someone who resembles the Wizard King is here, and All-Star's going full devil mode right now. As in, All-Star's like, right here, right now, I'll surpass the Wizard King! As he's screaming that his arm is also in but his arm is also like a partially that like armor that he has in his 100% union and seems to also have a few marks over it. Like I'm not sure if that's like 100% double union. Okay, it's like finished fully form because he still doesn't because that form was completely engulfed in black. Like only his face was saved. While here it seems like it's only one of his arms is fully, and the other one's like just covered in black, essentially. So I'm guessing this is an incomplete version. As then we have Julius let's there smirk and be like, "I'm gonna kick your ass, Asta." So yeah, once again, oh by the way, something I should mention. I think I forgot the last chapter, but Lucius's market is now the way it was previously before the time skip. I'm mentioning that because a lot of people mentioned in the last chapter that Lucius' mark was a bit different, like a few lines were missing. So now it's normal. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be some kind of like he's activating all of his power, or if this is just, or if that was just a mistake. But yeah, yes, Lucius is now pretty confident he's gonna be able to beat it. No, I'm curious how much of this is actually gonna be true because let's just say that the main villains, or the very least the major villains, usually get the ass beat the shit out by the main characters. Pretty much the first character to get their asses beat essentially. Like look at Part 3, look at Dante. That's pretty much a theme now. Not that you could argue with Part Dante and debatable, but you could say oh, he's the devil host of Lucifero, so that's maybe what you can say. Like, needless to say, usually these characters in Lucius's role get beat the shit off or beaten. So if it's not Asta beating him and it is Lucy just beating the shit out of Asta, maybe someone's gonna interfere that's gonna change the tide, or maybe that's gonna be what is gonna demonstrate the power gap between the two by having Lucius actually straight up beat everyone. Again, too early to say specifically how the battle's gonna go, but I'm guessing it's gonna be like a bit of a showcase next chapter. Well, after the break, because during August, I think that there are like 2 breaks in between everything through all the Shonen Jump magazines. So yeah. So overall, this is a decent chapter. Nothing really all that special, realistically. Like there's a few things more on why, and it does explain what Julius and Lucius are, but not really anything in detail. So this is more of a setup chapter. So yeah. Now, anyways, I hope you like this reaction. I hope you leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.